Hey everyone, my name is Monica. So for today's video, I wanted to do a get ready with me slash chit chat. I just kind of want to talk about my job. So I'm currently not working like my regular job or whatever because of the whole coronavirus thing, but I just miss my job so much and I just kind of like wanted to talk about it. You know, it's something that I really enjoy doing. So before I get started, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe to my channel. I'm almost at 200 subscribers. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but honestly, like right before this video, I did not feel like recording today, but when I saw that I was near 200, I was like, nah, I gotta do it. So I feel motivated, I feel happy. I know 200 isn't a lot, but let's go ahead and get started. So I already did my eyebrows. It's really hot in here because I feel like they take forever and I don't want to take up a lot of time doing my eyebrows. So I'm just gonna do my makeup. I'm probably not really gonna talk about the products. I want to talk about, you know, what I do at work. So let's do this. So I actually work as a case manager with kids that are on gang probation. I know people might be like scared, like gang probation, you know, but it's really not bad at all. And so basically these kids are referred to us. I have little notes also, so if I keep looking down, but these kids get referred to us by their probation officers. When these kids get put on probation, sometimes they've been in other programs already, but like they're still getting in trouble and stuff, so they get referred to us. It's kind of like a, not last resort, I don't want to say that, but you know, like a lot of the times when the kids come to our program, like they've already been in a lot of other programs. But our program is a little bit different because it does have a mental health like component. So I'm like I said, I'm a case manager, but we also have therapists. So, and yeah, a lot of the time when the kids, you know, they think about therapy, you know, they think about like being in a room, like your traditional, I guess, therapy, and it's not like that. So and a lot of my coworkers too, they're, what's the word I'm looking for, they're like younger, I guess, so they can relate a lot more with the kids. So you know, like they're in their like 20s and stuff. So I just think that that's really cool. Most kids are on probation for about a year or so. So you like, we're supposed to help them get off probation, right? So they'll usually be with us or like in the program for about a year. Sometimes it's a little bit less, sometimes it's a little bit more. It just really depends, you know, it's like on a case by case scenario or basis. And obviously our goal is to help them get off probation. So like I mentioned, we have therapists. I am going to talk a little bit about what they do. I'm not a therapist, so I can't really speak on everything exactly, but I just kind of like want to briefly mention because they're a big part of the team. We work collaboratively, so a lot of our kids have both a case manager and a therapist. Maybe like 90% of them do, and then there's like that 10% that either have only a therapist or only a case manager. So the therapists obviously have like a therapy, some type of a, you know, higher degree social work, or like clinical psychology, counseling psychology, things like that. So their main focus is on individual therapy and family therapy, and there are some things that overlap. So, but yeah, they do family and individual therapy, and they also focus on substance use. So, you know, a lot of the times, like, our kids are not supposed to be smoking or whatever. So if they are, you know, it's something that we help, or not we, not me. Wait, did you see my armpit? No. You know, we try to help them with reducing their substance use. So let me see. Okay, it's really hot in here. I don't know why. Okay, let me try to use this pink one. I wasn't working earlier. Okay, so yeah, so that is part of it. And then as a case manager, I help them with like coping skills. So I help them, you know, like or to, you know, help them learn like relaxation skills, anger management skills. So it's like if they ever get irritated with their, you know, their mom or their dad or whatever, they focus on that, you know, like helping them learn like calming skills, you know, breathing techniques, you know. And a lot of the things, it's like we don't tell them what to do, you know. We don't tell them like, oh, learn how to do this. We want, you know, every kid is different, and we want them to do things that are going to work for them, right? So for some kids, deep breathing might work. For some kids, it won't. So for some kids, you know, doing music or writing poetry or drawing is what works for them. So, you know, just doing things like that, getting them engaged in sports. Let me see, what else do we do? So we advocate for them in court. I guess these are things that like both therapists and case managers do. So we advocate for them in court. Whenever they have court hearings, we try to go with them, support them when they're there. And then, you know, like in front of the judge, we tell the judge, you know, like, yeah, they are meeting with us. You know, they're not meeting with us. But for the most part, the kids do tend to meet with us. And you know, like we want to obviously show that they're doing well, that they're engaging, that because we're supposed to meet, or they're supposed to meet with us at least once a week, but we can meet with them up to 5 times, so basically like every day. We also help them like find employment. So I know I've helped some of my youth to like, you know, apply for jobs online, taking them to the mall to ask if places are hiring, taking them to job fairs, you know, little simple things like that. But also helping them kind of figure it out on their own, right? Because I'm not always going to be there to help them out. We also, you know, help them, or at least I've helped kids study for the DMV test, you know, helping them make an appointment online and all of those things. Homework, you know, helping them with homework. A lot of the time they have a hard time in class. And also I know that I haven't helped anybody fill out like college or like apply to college or like with financial aid. What the fuck? Okay. But some of my coworkers have. I have though taken a kid to ¿cómo se llama? To the college that he was going to, and just like look to see where his classes were at because he was nervous about starting college. Oh my god, why is it doing that? So yeah, so like I mentioned before, it's not, oh my god, dude, this is terrible. Okay, like I mentioned before, it's not like regular therapy, right? So we're community based, so we meet with the kids, you know, at their house, at their schools, whatever is going to be easier and more convenient for them and their families. Let me see, let me try this one, you know. So if that means going to their school is more convenient and stuff, and we, you know, it's like we try to make it fun, like I said, not like a traditional thing. You know, I go on hikes, go on walks with them, and it's also sometimes easier to open up, right? Because you're not having like, it's not confrontational, like, you know, front, like face to face and stuff. You know, I'm not very good at playing basketball, but I still will make the effort, you know, to play with them, play pool with them, just like little things like that. And then what we like also do fun things, right? It's not like, it's not just like, oh, we do therapy and case management stuff. We also do have like fun events that we call pro socials. So during pro socials, usually throughout the year, we only do one pro social a month, right? Because they're in class, it makes it a little bit harder. But once it's summer, we take them, you know, we try to do at least one pro social a week. And so, you know, that can range from a lot of different, that can, yeah, oh my god, that can range from a lot of different things, right? We taken them like go-kart racing, bowling, to get manicures. Paintballing is like the one thing that like the kids really enjoy the most. And it's probably because they get to shoot us with the with the paintballs, but you know, it's really fun for them, and a lot of these things are new experiences for them. So you know, like when they tell you that they had a lot of fun, and you know, like that, to me, and I know my coworkers, like that's very rewarding, you know, having them be able to experience new things. To the beach, let me tell you, yeah, that like a lot of these kids have never been to the beach before, you know, like a lot of there's a lot of things that we might take for granted and that a lot of these kids have never experienced, and so we want to be able to share it, you know, share that with them, or and show them, you know, like there's a lot more to the world. And hopefully they'll have a different perspective on the choices that they're making in their life. Oh shit, let me see. Let me try to speed this up. Sorry. And also something that we did this last year was an art gallery, right? So a lot of the kids are, you know, talented, you know, artistic, musically talented, and so we ended up doing, or I guess hosting, like a little art gallery for them where they drew something, anything. It could have been anything that they wanted to draw and paint. And you know, some of them are better than others, but like some people were like willing to go out of their comfort zones, you know, to try this, and that's what I really appreciated. We had someone do poetry, you know, they recited their poetry. We had a lot of paintings, and it was fun. It was the first time, obviously, that we were doing this, so not a lot of people showed up. Plus the place that our office is located at, it is like a gang impacted neighborhood, so that also sometimes can make it like not dangerous for like other youth, but maybe not the safest place for them to be, especially if they are like a rival gang member. I know that I said that, you know, we work with kids that are on probation. We also work with kids who are detained at juvenile hall or another detention center that's like more long-term, right? So juvenile hall is for, you know, youth that are waiting to hear, you know, like you know, like I don't want to say their sentence. I know there's specific terms. There's different terms for adults and teenagers or juveniles, but they have like kind of a different, I don't know what I'm saying. Basically, if you're in juvenile hall, you're only there, like usually they're only there for like a couple of months. They're not there for like a whole lot of time. And then the people that are in the other detention center, they're usually there for approximately 6 to 8 months, depending on how well they're doing. If they're not doing that well, then they like lose weeks, and then they have to stay there for a longer period of time. But for the kids that are locked up in the detention center, we usually start meeting with them about 2 months before they are released, so that we can start building rapport with them, you know. We go to the detention center and have visits with them, just talk to them, and yeah, this is harder than I thought. Like multitasking is not my thing. So yeah, I don't think I said this, but a lot of our kids, you know, they've gone through a lot of stuff, you know, so they have a lot of trauma, whether it's like community, gun violence, gang violence, you know, violence in the home. You know, they've seen people die in front of them, get shot in front of them. You know, they themselves have been shot at and stuff. So there's a lot that they have to process, and I guess that's where like the therapy aspect of it also, you know, comes into play. and I don't know if I said this already, but everything that we talk about with our clients is confidential. We don't break confidentiality. So, you know, like if our client is high, like, you know, we don't tell their probation officers. I mean, the POs are gonna figure it out anyways because they usually drug test them, but we don't tell them that information, you know, because we're trying to gain their trust, not lose their trust. The only reason that we do have to report certain things is if they're in danger to them, if they're a danger to themselves or somebody else. Yeah, excuse me. If the minor is a danger to themselves or somebody else, if they say they're trying to hurt somebody else, you know, like that's something that we do have to report. Also, if there's any child abuse or elder abuse in the home, you know, like if they tell us, you know, like my uncle, you know, beats the crap out of my little cousin or whatever, or, you know, beat up my like, I don't know, they neglect or whatever, like to my grandma, you know, those are things that we do have to report, which I haven't had to deal with any of that, but I know some of my coworkers have, and they have to do like a CPS report and stuff. I feel like that's one of the reasons why I really like my job too, is because my coworkers, well, we're like all around the same age, we all get along, but everybody's always willing to help each other, and it's more like I feel like it's honestly like a family. You know, people like to joke around, but they're also willing to help you, you know, because some of them have more experience, so it's like, oh, well, you know, this client this, so like what do I do about it, or, you know. And at first, when I first started working there, you know, because a lot of our clients are avoidant, you know, like they avoid us, and in the beginning I would get hurt. I'd be like, oh my god, like this kid is not meeting with me, like he doesn't like me, like all these things, right? And my coworker even told me, you know, like don't take it personal, like that it's gonna happen. And I was like, no. I would get all sad, and then after, you know, a while, I learned not to take it personal, and honestly, you can't give up, right? It's like a lot of other people like have already given up on these kids in their life, and you just kind of have to like keep going, you know, just show consistency, because that's something that they don't have. A lot of my kids would tell me that they would rather be locked up because they had that consistency. Oh my god, I'm not gonna cry, but you know, and it just made me sad because they didn't have that consistency at home. And so that reminds me, you know, like if this kid didn't respond to my message today, I'm gonna keep trying, you know. I'm gonna text them the next day and the next day and call them and leave them a message until they answer me, you know. All right, everyone, so this is the finished look. I just want to say thank you if you watched this video. I hope that you learned something new today. If you work with kids, whether they're on probation or not, if they're in gangs or whatever, like I would love to hear, you know, maybe some strategies that you guys use, you know, to support them, or to you know, stay consistent with them. A lot of people think that working with kids in gangs is scary, but it's honestly not. It's really rewarding, right? Because as we know, students, or not just students, I guess, you know, just people of color in general, are, you know, criminalized by law enforcement, and, you know, they're the ones that tend to be more you know, they're in it's like that revolving door effect, right? Because they're in and out of whether it's juvenile hall, jail, or prison, and so I just find my job really rewarding. I really enjoy it. Sometimes it can be tough, but I know that I'm very passionate about the work that I do. Oh my god, my goodness, I'm not gonna get sad. I just really miss you know, seeing my clients, meeting with them, and being trying to be a positive impact in their life, and I hope that they can realize, you know, that me and my coworkers are here to really help them and see them succeed. So that's all that I have for you guys today. Please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.